Welcome to our clarity session for 2024. But before we start, I would like us to say a short prayer, just to thank God for the opportunity of being here. You know, this is being done under the Broken but Reloaded platform, Women on Fire. And we know that God is the giver of clarity. So we want to hand over everything to Him and ask Him to take control. Father, we thank and we worship you this evening. We glorify your most holy name. We exalt you for another opportunity this year of being in your presence, of examining that which you have placed in our hands, and just making sure that we're in alignment with your purpose for us. We ask today that we have this conversation, that you open our hearts, you open our mind, you cause us to be fully present here to receive all that you have prepared for us. We also thank you, Lord God, because we do know that you are an igniter, that you ignite that deep purpose in us and unveil that which you have placed deep within us. We thank, we honor you, we appreciate, we reverence you today. In Jesus' most precious name we pray. Amen. Okay, I'm really excited, you know. This is the second time I'm running this at the beginning of the year, and I'm very excited to do this. Because one of the things I've noted about growth is that it starts with a place of understanding. It starts with a place of clarity. I would want to introduce myself for those who do not know me, who are just listening for the first time, either online or in person. So I want to welcome those of you who are joining us in our Telegram platform. We love and appreciate you. We welcome you. Thank you for joining us in. So my name is Professor Joy Onyes. I'm a transformative coach. What do I do as a transformative coach? I offer you a holistic approach in your personal, business, or professional development through intentionally focusing on habit change, mindset shifts, and being very intentional, right? And I help you to rewrite your narrative, to, you know, embrace a new way of what I call a new way of becoming, a new way of being. And that's what I help you do as a transformative coach. And my niche really is on breakthroughs. What do I mean on breakthroughs? I help you to break through barriers, obstacles, limiting beliefs, for you to come to a place of deep purpose, deep clarity, to work with what God has placed in your hands, to be all that God has called you to be. And so today we're going to look at it is write down your vision. And you know that you cannot write a vision that is not clear. True or false? When something is not clear, you cannot write it down. When something is not clear, you cannot explain it. And so that's why for the clarity very key. Actually, the starting point, actually the seed for growth. Whatever brand, either you want to grow your profession or your business, it starts from a place of clarity. So today we're going to do some exercises. It's really hands-on today. I'm going to put it out to you. And I ask you to come fully present. Why do I say come fully present? You know, this is Nigeria. There's a whole lot of things I can just like left and right and back everywhere. And just in the process of coming in here, there's a whole lot of hassles coming in here. There's a whole lot of hassles living in Nigeria today. So if you're not intentional in being fully present, what happens is that you get distracted. So I ask you to leave all distractions at the door. If after this program you decide you want to pick it up, that's your choice. But what I would agree is that you do not pick it up as you go, because you want to learn a new way of being. You want to learn how to become very intentional. And when you want to be intentional, when you want to be focused, one of the things you want to do is to limit distractions. You want to limit distractions, right? So I thought it best to explain who I am. I will go to the next slide. which is on really looking at our learning outcomes. What do I hope you will take away as a result of being here today? As a result of being here today, one of the first things I hope you're going to take away is that you have a deep understanding of the importance of clarity. So I think by chance you'll be wondering in your mind, what is clarity? Why do you talk about clarity? By the end of the session, today, you have an understanding of what clarity is all about. And then you would also have, an understanding of the importance of the steps to clarify your vision. What are the steps to clarify your vision? If your vision is hazy, if you're feeling so confused, how can you clarify vision? So that as God commanded us to write it down and make it plain, so that all who reads it may run with it, you will be able to run with that vision. So at the end of today, you're going to be so clear as to what steps you are going to take. And then finally, you're going to walk away today with only vision. What we want to find is the vision. But what really is vision? I want to just take a deep breath. And if you want, just close your eyes a bit. If you want to. But I want to take a deep breath and just think about your future. At the end of December 2024, in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, where do you see yourself? A vision is a mental. These are found very helpful in note taking is do not write about what whoever the speaker is saying. Reflect on what the person is saying and write what holds true for you, what the person is saying. So that if tomorrow or next tomorrow you come back to that note, you can relieve that energy, you can relieve that aha moment that made you to take that note. But if you're just writing about what I'm saying, you will miss what is striking you as I'm talking. So don't just write everything. Have a thought of what I'm saying and how it hits you and then write it. Okay. Now, crafting a vision for yourself is very, very important. If you don't craft a vision for yourself, it means that you are saying, I don't see a future for myself. How do you see people that will say, oh yeah, what about future? Jokingly, right? Now, what have we talked about? Why would they look at that person as if it doesn't have a future? Because they must have seen the person acting in a way that has no direction. True or false? You see the person acting responsibly. So you will be telling yourself, this person is not thinking about tomorrow. Right? This person is thinking about tomorrow. The person is not doing X, Y, Z. So if you see people that have a vision, they live an intentional life. Their life is very intentional. Their life is not a life of coincidence. Right? So your vision always comes first before any other thing. It is not the process, it is not the strategy, it is the vision. It is the vision that drives the process and the strategy, not the other way around. So if you have someone who doesn't have a vision, no matter how much the person wants to do, the person wants to be, it's difficult for the person to have any future insights. So I want you to keep it at the back of your mind. Now, when we're talking about vision, we're talking about future insights, future image of a if you cannot have that mental image, it means that you cannot be intentional and focused because you can't see the future. And once you cannot, it's difficult. Apostle Paul said, I enjoy everything. Why? Because of the crowd that was set before me. His ability to see the crowd that was set before me made him very intentional and focused. So if you cannot see your crowd, which is your vision, which is your future, it's very difficult for you to be intentional. Am I going to someone here? So vision always comes first. It is your vision that translates into a strategy. Are you following me? Now, your vision is what gets translated into a strategy. Your strategy is about the how of achieving the what. So it is very, very important. That is why we're here today. You will live here with clarity as to what your vision is. All I ask you is to be fully present, do the exercises, give yourself the permission to begin. You can be seated here in flesh and not hear members of the spirit. You will miss out all I'm talking about. But I want you to take it seriously because I tell you the truth. Because when I talk about your vision and the topic that makes sense, I don't want to say those. When you're telling me something, I don't think I'm telling you. This is how I cannot see myself. Then why do you want me to get direction to do what you want me to do? It's difficult. So it means that it's not comfortable. It's not on my plate. It doesn't mean that it is bad. No. It just means I don't my priorities. It's not what I need to get that image I'm seeing. So when I see that image of me 3 years, 5 years, I do not see myself being all these things you're talking about. I really would like to put it very simply to say clarity is knowing what you want to do, right? And then why you want it. If you don't know why you want something, it means that you're not clear yet on what you want to do. So there are two elements to clarity, which is what you want, what you want, and why you want it. Do you know why that is important? That's why. Now, if you're not clear on your why, you will be distracted. It is not the wanting it that keeps you focused. It is the why you want it that keeps you focused. When you know why you want this thing so much, when you see this one, you say, well, now, this is not my priority now. You know, because your why is what is motivating you. In fact, your why is one of the biggest things you need to achieve in the whole achievement journey. If you don't understand your why, you can only go your setting, you're not setting the goal for. That's why you don't need to do your resolutions. Because New Year resolutions are not based on anything substantive. Most times they are based on sentiments that when we come to the new year, so I have to have New Year resolution. Then one person said I have 30 resolutions for 1 year. By the time you do 1 week, because you don't understand why you have those resolutions, you start your excuses why you don't do it. Maybe say no for the Lagos. And just know why you want to go to Lagos. What happens is that when you do the work, the number is that And then you go out, it is beautiful soup, and you see the face of the soup, and the chicken and the meat inside there, and you're telling them that, no, I'm tired to tell you, no, I just eat small. Is it this one that will make you not you that somewhere just like, why are you eating it? Because you don't understand why you're the way it was. Your why becomes the motivator. Your why becomes something that makes you so non-negotiable. And so if you don't get to that point, you will see someone will just push you one side, you just talk about it, you start following the why, because you don't understand your why. So there I said, is without clarity, you lose motivation, you forget what you're pursuing, you go. Now, clarity of vision is understanding your why. And once you have understanding, it is easier to set specific goals. Not just any goals, but what? Specific goals. Now, when you set those specific goals, they are smart. Meaning that they're going to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and what? Time bound. I was reading something on Facebook, was it yesterday? And so people were talking about this low pressure. But most of it don't be pressured, but from a different perspective. Now, from a perspective of time, they say don't set deadlines. Deadlines don't set just like if you don't want to pressure this year, don't set deadlines. And I said, if you don't set deadlines, means you don't want to achieve anything. Anything that doesn't have a time frame is something that will take forever. And you're not non-negotiable at that thing. So if you don't want pressure, because they were coming from the point that certain time frame was under pressure. Rather, I would say not understanding your why is what makes time frame to put under pressure. Because if you understand your why, your time frame will become a motivator rather than a pressure point. So it was misconstrued. Although said timeline, take your time, do it. Yes, take your time, but that time has to be framed into a particular time frame. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It's just like 6 of us now, we were setting goals, and then I have the hope of finishing my doctorate degree in 5 or 6 years. And I do set goals under pressure. Anytime it's God's time. Now, the sense of fulfillment, when you don't finish it in 6 months, maybe 2 states is 5 years, 4 years. Maybe 4 years. You got 5, you got 6, you got 7, you got 8, because you know pressure. Do you know what sets it? Pressure sets it. Because there is enough time for new things. When you go to primary school, 6 years. No matter you go to school, anytime you finish primary school, no problem, no pressure for these children. Anytime you finish coming to secondary school, we're here waiting for you. But there is a reason for certain minimum standards. We call them minimum standards, right? For you to achieve certain things. What it does is sharpens your focus. It sharpens your focus. So when you say too focused to give up, there must be something you're looking at that makes you, even if that talks about time. It's very important. It sharpens your focus and keeps you very intentional. So it's not from a place of pressure, because when you don't set that time frame, you get pressured. You must definitely get pressured. Because without knowing it, your body started like, Joy, you should have been this in 5 years ago. See your mates have not finished it. You tell yourself, okay, I don't want to compare. Comparison kills anointing. Follow the game. You see yourself comparing yourself. Look at Nancy. My sister will say, she has been working for 2-3 years. That you know, you now said, if I had finished, maybe I would have been earning so and so. Unconsciously, you're really self-sabotaging. So saying that you don't want to have smart goals is you self-sabotaging yourself. You're just self-sabotaging. It means you don't want to achieve anything. So are we on this? Because the clearer you are, the more likely you are to achieve the goals. Now we come to understanding your why. I'm trying to talk about this why. because it's very critical. But before we go really into why, I want us to think about success. You see, success, it is not what I say it is for you. It is what you say it is for you. That is what it is. Am I talking to someone here? Success should be self-defined. Success should be self-defined, taking into account certain parameters, your context, your background, your capacity, so many other things around you, because everyone has some life nuances. And then when you take all those into cognizance, you will now define what success means to you. And it starts from your understanding your what, your why. We still come back to what, your why. Once you can understand your why, it starts creating opportunities for you. You now have a heart to do what you want. I know why I said have the heart, have the mindset, have the passion. I say you have somebody needs to feel, isn't it? Tell us so that we say our slogan. I had to first of all, I was struggling to understand what I think with father said, but okay, heart is a seat of all emotions, of all feelings. So success is also about your feeling. How do you feel about success? How do you even know that you've achieved success? How do you know when you've achieved success? Some people don't know when they've achieved success because they don't start out to think about it. What does success really mean to me? What I define as success may not be what you define as success. We might even be selling the same thing. Maybe both of us are selling bags. And to be successful, I can sell 10 bags in 1 month. And to use success when you can sell 1,000 bags in 1 month. There must be parameters that has enabled you to teach people on good to do 3, 4, 5. It's my time because I have worked and I'm praying. God of things I give to us things. I always tell that God wants to do for us what we can do ourselves. And so that's why to design books, right? Ezekiel, yes, sorry, it's not that it's supposed to do family and change track. I just tried book before. So try that they can crack and break. And then you come into the family, they're all Place on my heart, and I worship begin and never end to the God of all flesh. For it's my God, this name is Yahweh, this name is Yahweh, Yahweh. For my God, this name is Yahweh. But I want you to keep all the answers that you've written down in view as we go into the next step, because you have reason to refer to it as we move along. So just keep it in front of you and just keep making reference to it where you need to make reference to. But this rocking chair exercise is one exercise that I usually do to keep me in focus. Because when you think about your future self and you start thinking about what it is you want to accomplish by the time you get to that thing, that age, it helps to eliminate distractions. Because when you cannot see yourself saying that you did it, you're happy doing it, you want to do it. One of the things I even tell my children, I said, think about before you go online and post anything and say anything, ask yourself, your future self in 10 years, 15 years, where you would have grown, would you be proud of what you have posted? Are you following me? Yes. Before you just, this is just jumping and do anything. The internet never forgets. It archives everything that you do. So ask yourself, if I go back 10 years, 15 years, because you won't remember you are, you'll keep growing. That's your grown 10-year self. When you come back to what you did 10 years in the past, would you be proud of what you do? There's one I saw online, was it yesterday or today? Now this was the comment she made. Maybe 3-4 years ago, she did not know she would have grown to where she is now. And now people went to that comment she made 3-4 years and pulled it up and they used me to drag her. That's why this rocking chair exercise is a very critical exercise for anyone that is growing. You ask yourself, what have I achieved? What am I proud of? So if you do not keep seeing yourself in the future, you'll be making a lot of decisions that are not informed. Both in terms of relationships and all that. There are normal mistakes we make at a certain age. But at an age you get to, age of reasoning, then there are certain mistakes you make. It now shows that you were acting without vision. I tell us, look at the life of Obama. The way they dragged Obama as the first black president of America, and they could not see anything filthy they could use to rubbish it. Why? The man knew, when the wife was talking about, the wife said, he knew when they were even in the university before them, he kept saying he wants to be the president. So it's that vision of his future self as the American president guided every action he did. Am I speaking to someone here tonight? And so that's why clarity of vision is very important. It keeps you focused and intentional. If you cannot see your future self, there are certain things you'll be doing today. There are certain people you'll be hobnobbing with today. Your tomorrow you'll be ashamed of them. And nobody wants to come and like you. And so because you don't want people to know you are hobnobbing with those kind of people, they will not start blackmailing you. There's a lot, life is so deep. There's a lot happening. That's why if you know what God has placed in your hands and in your heart, you have to be careful and intentional in the actions that you take. Now, keeping in mind that rocking chair exercise we've done, I have here 3 steps that can also help you to clarify your vision. We know we just do this exercise for 10 minutes, but an exercise you can do for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, because you need to ponder. It's not something just worrying this and writing. Because the response you write now, you will come back to it again. Look at it, does it still hold true for me? Or has something shifted for me? So I want you to take this back. I will do a clarified version of this and send to us so that you can have it. And that's why your phone number to have on your phone number to send it to your WhatsApp. So that you begin to think, and that's why I said the first thing is time and space. For you to have clarity of vision, you need what I call time and space. Why? You need time to think. You need time to ponder. You need time to write. It's not what you can just be jumping about and between. No. You need to create time for what we call a personal retreat. You don't just wake up and start putting resolutions up and down because everybody is doing it. Have you taken time this year to carve out for yourself a special time for your retreats? When you ponder over things like your business, your relationships, your spirituality, your career, and then you begin to write what goes through for you. Today I'm not going to go into the vision board. I was very intentional about it because I've done vision board for a number of times. I've done it on Friday night hangout. I did it last year, a whole lot. So I don't want to go into vision board. There's a whole lot you can get on vision board out there. So I just wanted to focus on this mindset shifts and habit shifts that can help you to grow. Not just for 2024, beyond 2024. So make up time, and it's not just one of. Remember, if you follow me on financial hangouts and attend my programs, I will talk about SWOT analysis. So I'm not going to talk about it here today. We'll look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. In your personal retreat, you need to be vulnerable with yourself and ask yourself, Joy, who am I? What are my strengths? Meaning, what is the value I'm going to take? Beyond saying, because someone said, who are you? My name is Joy. Say, I introduce myself. What did I tell you? I'm a transformative coach. But I offer a holistic approach in your business, professional, and personal development, focusing on habit change, mindset shifts, and what intentionality. I do this to help you write your narratives and to help you learn a new way of being, of becoming. So, beyond my name, I can tell you who I am. What I do is who I am. It's my identity. And I can now start telling you what my strengths are. So, if you cannot craft a vision for yourself, it's difficult for you to take opportunities when they come. Opportunities will come. You will see the opportunity, but you cannot see it. You are seeing it. Am I talking to someone? You're seeing it, but you don't know the opportunity. Because you're not taking time to. So, as an individual, what are you have that vision you have? How are you going to achieve it? Your mission statement speaks to your heart. It's part of your strategy. So if you don't have a mission statement, it means you just have a vision, you've not translated it into anything. So look at your personal vision statement, and what I call your success policy. That one is the conversation for another day. Do you have a success policy? Just like we have a procurement policy, gender policy, all kinds of, but do you have a success policy? These are critical things, tools that will help you to grow this year. The second one I said, I'm talking about three steps to help you gain clarity, right? The second one is do the deep work. I didn't say do the work. I said it was the deep work. There is work and there is deep work. What does it mean to do the deep work? It means that you're willing to, like an onion, start peeling off your layers. You're willing to get vulnerable. Just some of us are so, because of what we've gone through in life, either as a child or in marriage or in our professional life, we build a shield around ourselves, true or false. And then because we build that shield, we now shield even ourselves from ourselves. Am I talking to someone again? You're shielding yourself from yourself. You're not willing to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to yourself, meaning that you're not authentic to yourself. And growth happens in a place of vulnerability. If you're not vulnerable to yourself, you cannot grow. And let me tell you something, people know when you're authentic because you project it. Remember, I keep telling you that communication is over 90% non-verbal. It's not the words I say. Beyond what I say, there's a whole lot you can read from my stance, from my face, from a whole lot of things. There's some vibes I'm giving out, like just virtue of being here and standing in this space. And so you need to give yourself the permission to be vulnerable and do the deep work that's required. You start asking yourself things like, where am I going, Joy? Where are you really going, Joy? This is 2024. What happened last year? What were my highs and my lows? What did I not do well? Why do you think you did not do them well? What can change? What resources joy do you have at your hands? Many of us are running what I call audio businesses. What do we mean by that? The businesses have no substance, they have no anchor, they have no prospect. But just because we all want to answer CEO. So it means that you're not authentic enough to yourself to tell yourself the truth. Ask yourself, do you have the resources necessary? Resources not only financial resources, time, capacity, people, and otherwise. Do you have the emotional resources? Most of us are so fragile emotionally because we've not taken time to build our emotional resilience. Something happens and you go, oh my God, why is it me? Only me. But these are normal things you have to go through in life. Business is not for the faint-hearted. Growth in profession is not for the faint-hearted. You have to walk the walk. You have to go through the path. It is just in this age and era that we want to put it in and get it out. And so because we want in and out quickly, people are cashing in on that desire, that need to have quick success that is not based on any substance. There is a level you will grow. No matter how much you're shaking, you can rebuild your success again because you have the system to do it. Success about the system you put in place and the capacity that you have. So you take away some certain resources from me, but put me in another place, I can replicate that success again. Am I talking to someone here? And that's why you need to do that deep work, so that you're deeply rooted and you'll be like that tree that is planted by the riverside. You continuously be green, you will not wither. There is a planting. The tree is not on the surface. If the tree were to be on the surface by the riverside, it will still be there. Because the roots will not go into the soil and tap the water, the nutrients of the soil. So for you to be like the tree that is planted by the riverside, that is evergreen, it means that you have your roots, your anchored. So whatever you do, you want to be anchored, you want to look at structure, you want to look at systems, you want to look at capacity. Very, very, very key. There's a level of growth that you will desire, and you, man, would know you do not have the structure to carry it. You know, it was before when we do microfinance and all of that, we'll give people money who haven't started doing any business, right? That is a waste of money. Yes. I don't have any regret saying it. Giving people who have posted business funds is a waste of money. You know why I say so? Now, most of them will come because of that money. Even with the still acquisition class unit, we have to stop it and start looking at key people will give. Now, you're not doing any business altogether. Something you do not work hard for, you don't value it. Something that is given to you on the platform of good, most times because it came easy, you don't value it. I read always someone who said, anything that I do not struggle to get, or I don't work hard to get that, so I find myself not appreciating it. or I don't work hard to get to that. So I find myself not appreciating it. Why you keep it? It's not your money. It's not the tears and the pain the person wants to put that force together. But when it is your money, your any salary, and you're bringing out 10,000, 20,000, and you're keeping it aside for a purpose, the way you safeguard that money as an off. When you see the person shouting and crying about people, I said, over 5 or 10,000, the person is talking about the pain I went through to save this money, the sacrifice, the deprivement. But when somebody says money, you cannot see it. Whether the business succeeds or not. But when you take your hard-earned money to start business, and that's why I tell you, remove money. What do you need in your business? But the person says it's money. I tell you, it's not money. They will give you the money, they say we don't work. It's not money. Money is the last thing, the least thing you need actually. There are other resources. Do you have the capacity? What do you need in your business? But the person says it's money. I tell you, it's not money. They will give you the money, they say we don't work. It's not money. Money is the last thing, the least thing you need actually. There are other resources. Do you have the capacity? Mental capacity, the emotional capacity, the knowledge, everything. You have the resilience and patience and time to run business before you start talking about money. So you really need to ask them to have all these resources that I need for this mission. Because if you do not ask yourself these critical questions, you will not do a deep work in gaining understanding of that issue. And that's why if you have deep plans, you can do all this work. When you do this periodically, you know when your season in some things has ended. Because you're doing that deep work. That's why that deep work is important. You know how Bible said your spirit will bear witness with you that this thing is something. That is how you bear witness that this thing my season will bear witness with you that this thing is something. That is how you bear witness that this thing my season here has ended. Because then you cannot see yourself in your vision in that place anymore. Am I talking to someone? Yes. But you cannot do it in the air. You need to have that time to do that deep work. Don't be in a hurry to do that deep work. Give yourself the same time and space. Give yourself that this is New Year. You're not competing with anybody but yourself. That's the number one rule you should take away from here. You're not in competition with anyone but yourself. Set your own time frame that is achievable and that is to your own circumstances. But you know this is you're always preparing somebody and competing with somebody. And so because your mind is always to prepare and to compete and to confess, in life man there's no first, and there's certain level that there's no first. And successful people do not compete, they collaborate. To get beyond the level of compete. Now when you say, what is success? There's no first. And successful people do not compete, they collaborate. To get beyond the level of compete. Now when you say, what is success? The word of that spot. I just said, it's an opportunity for me to see this person. How am I keeping? Instead of not because you want to drag the person down. So people study to drag down, not that kind of study. Study with good intent. So give yourself the time and the space to do what? The deep work. Then the third thing is focus on your milestones. It's difficult to get clarity without milestones. Give yourself milestones. What do you want to achieve? 3 months down, I always recommend doing it in blocks of 30 days. If you're not yet consistent in setting milestones, set milestones in blocks of 30 days. It's easier to achieve than when you decide to start setting milestones. You say, okay, by November, I would have achieved this. By the time you've done 10 days into that, you start setting milestones. You say, okay, by November, I would have achieved this. By the time you've done 10 days into that, you collapse. Why? You've not built what we call a habit. You build habits in 30 days, and you can reconstruct a habit in what? 30 days. If you start from today and tell yourself, 30 days from today, this is what I'm committing to do. Just 30 days. Now, because it's a short time frame, your mind is focused on 30 days. But what you're doing is you're building focus. You're building, resilience. So by the time you do something day 1, day 2, day 3, 10, by the time you bring 30 days, it becomes a habit. If it's exercise, find yourself jumping up, even when you don't want to. But because you've done it for 30 days, you're just be moving. When I start doing exercise, I always say, like, I've done exercise for a long time. I've put on a lot of weight, and I know I need to do the exercise. The key thing is, when can I break that circle and just jump in? And I tell myself, join those for 30 days. But if you do 30 days, you start enjoying everything you do. So So set whatever you want to do in blocks of. When you do 30 days, you start enjoying everything you do. So set whatever you want to do in blocks of 30 days. When you now build resilience, you now use a lot of focus. You can start with 60 days, 90 days, and all of that. But just keep it simple so that it's easier for you to achieve. You want to change your habits, don't be too ambitious, do 30 days. You want to get new habits, 30 days. Do it in that block of 30 days, and then you will see that you can eliminate distractions. Because you tell yourself 30 days, I don't want to do this for 30 days. I don't want to drink Coke for 30 days. Those people that like to drink Coke, chilled Coke, especially in this season, and the Coke will be calling you, babe, you must come and drink now, very Coke. Once you can stay 30 days and stay off, when you see how chilled it is, even the bottle is sweating with ice, you will not say this is not for me. It will not be a distraction to you at all. Now, this is another exercise you can do to verify your big vision. What you can answer to you at all. Now, this is another exercise you can do to verify your big vision. What you can answer these 8 questions. You see these 8 questions we're going to look at now. Once you're able to answer these 8 questions, and as you're answering these questions, I want you to also be reflecting on the vision exercise, the rocking chair exercise. I want you to keep reflecting on that rocking chair exercise you did and the answers you did. Now, I start from what is your big why? You know why it is important to understand your why? I said it before, right? That's your reason for doing what you're doing. It's your reason for waking up in the morning and coming to work. It's your reason for going to your office space, to your business environment. If you don't have the why, that's not when it's morning. You look at that, get out of 8 o'clock, you cover your head very, very well, go under the mat, especially when it's raining. Because you don't have any why, you don't have a motivator. You will turn yourself around and come and then you go back to sleep. I mean, you don't have any why, you don't have a motivator. You will turn yourself around and come and then you go back to sleep. I mean, now, how can you understand the why? The first thing is to ask yourself, why do you want this? This is an exercise. I think it's striking, you got the right thing that's coming out to you. Why do you want this vision? This vision you have, why do you want it? What does it give to you? Does it give you satisfaction? Does it give you what? Happiness? Peace? What does it give to you? If you cannot answer what it gives to you, why do you want to do it? Because there is nothing. So why? Now, once we have to talk about the onion layer, there are layers to the why. Don't take your first why as the primary reason why you're doing it. No, there are always other layers to it. Now, don't take your first why as the primary reason why you're doing it. No, there are always other layers to it. Now, ask yourself again, that thing it gives to you, that's this thing, say this vision, this is why I want this vision, this is what it gives to me. That thing it gives to you, what does that thing it gives to you gives to you? Are you getting it? That feeling, that joy it gives to you. So being happy, what does it give to you? Being fulfilled, what does it give to you? When you answer that question, you ask yourself again, that thing that makes you feel fulfilled, what again does that thing do to you? You need to calm down and be able to answer it with very specific response. If you've not answered a very specific response, things difficult. There was a client that was working and I asked her, so what's your vision? I said I had that vision is to make plenty money. John very successful and make plenty money. I said I had that vision is to make plenty money. John very successful and make plenty money. I said, that's really your vision. I said, okay, so why do you want to make plenty money? That's it for sure. I said, no, there must be make money and then what? She said she's going to buy a very big house. I said, not just she has a big house. She said, yeah. So why do you want to buy a big house? She said, so she can bring her mother and then her siblings to come and she's not yet married to come and stay with her. And I said, why do you want them to come and stay with you? She said, because she likes that relationship, like makes her happy. And I seeing them happy makes her feel very happy and satisfied. That despite their poor background, she's been able to achieve this and put smiles on their face. Now, if you ask, what is her reason for wanting to be successful? Is it to make money? What's her reason? To do what? To see her family. So give her family a better life. You must give them a better life they start happy. But if you are living on the surface, I don't want to buy a house. But that's not motivate her. Because she gets tired. But what motivates her when she said she jumps on the thing that was to do was to see her family happy. So give her family a better life. You must give them a better life place for her. But if you are living on the surface, I won't go to my house. But that will not motivate her because she gets tired. But what motivates her when she said she jumps on the thing that I want to see that smile in my mom's face. I want to see my mom having everything she has. I want my mom riding in the car. She will not talk about it. That's how motivates. So when you cannot get to that motivator, understanding the why is difficult. So I want you to practice this. Whatever you say is your vision, keep obeying it. But you get to that thing that you're not negotiable about. You see that she's not negotiable about her parents or her mothers and sibling families. To the extent that it's going to become the kind of man that she marries. Because you want to be sure that the person that can allow her to do what she wants with her family. You see, she's not negotiable about this. That thing that you're not negotiable about is your why. Am I speaking to somebody else? That's why. In something you are not ready to negotiate. That if you do something and that's well, ladies have been stopped that. But because she's not negotiable about it, you see, you are saying that can allow her to do what she wants with her family. You see, she's not negotiable about this. That thing that you're not negotiable about is why. Am I speaking to somebody else? That's why. In something you are not ready to negotiate. That if you do something and that's well, ladies have been stopped that. But because she's not negotiable about it, you see, you are saying you just use it to one side. Okay? Next one. Because at the end of the day, he was able to say why, how it makes you feel. She knows happy as satisfied when she sees that her parents or her mother and her siblings are happy and living like that. That's what motivates her. Is that feeling she gets? That's her motivation. Now, the second question I want you to ask yourself is, what is not included in your vision for good reasons? What am I talking about here? We need to set what we call healthy boundaries. If you don't have healthy boundaries, the tendency of you accomplishing that vision is reduced. Because you allow everyone to say no, you're not going to accept to do in this journey, so that doesn't distract you. Now, the second question I want you to ask yourself is, what is not included in your vision for good reasons? What am I talking about here? We need to set what we call healthy boundaries. If you don't have healthy boundaries, the tendency of you accomplishing that vision is reduced. Because you allow everyone to say no, you're not going to accept to do in this journey, so that doesn't distract you. For this lady that wants to make her parent her mother and siblings happy, she can tell you a lot of things she's not going to compromise. And if it's that kind of woman now, are you imagining to marry her and tell her not to work? Will she accept? She's not going to appreciate that. That's about it. And she's very quick to tell me that because that is her. No, she's not going to take that because she already knows what she wants to achieve, right? Now, the third question you ask yourself is, what are what I call your must, your must-haves? In this your vision, what must you have? Let us sit down. For some people, for me, I must have a doctorate degree. Tell her not to work. Will she accept? She's not going to appreciate that. That's about it. And she's very quick to tell me that because that is her. No, she's not going to take that because she already knows what she wants to achieve, right? Now, the third question you ask yourself is, what are what I call your your must-haves? In this your vision, what must you have? Let us sit down. For some people, for me, I must have a doctorate degree. Some people say, for me, I must have at least, I must be married. Don't say I must have 2 children. Don't say I must have a car. Don't say not just any car. I must have a luxurious car. So there are certain things. Some people say, oh, I must have a deep relationship with my God. Am I talking to someone? What are your must-haves? Just as you're willing to write what you cannot compromise, you will be to say, this thing, I must have them. In that vision of myself, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 must be there. You must see those things there. Otherwise, how are you able to make your milestones to know what you're moving? Because it's those must-haves that will tell, okay, these are my must-haves. I say, I'm moving towards it. I'm moving towards it. Some people say, oh, I must have a deep relationship with my God. Am I talking to someone? What are your must-haves? Just as you're willing to write what you cannot compromise, you will be to say, this thing, I must have them. In that vision of myself, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 must be there. You must see those things there. Otherwise, how are you able to make your milestones to know what you're moving? Because it's those must-haves that will tell, okay, these are my must-haves. I say, I'm moving towards it. I'm moving towards it. Am I going to someone? Now, the first question you ask yourself is, who do you love to work with? Who do you love to work with? What kind of people do you see yourself surrounded with? One of the things I did very early on, which has helped my mental self-live, not very early, the kind of attitude and answer I want of people. And so when I don't see like that, then enough. So it doesn't make sense really to exist. What kind of people do you want to work for? And the fifth one is, what are your strengths? What do you bring to the table? as you have that mental imagination, right? Your surroundings. One of the things I did very early on, which has helped my movement was at least, not very early, the kind of attitude and answer I was on people. And so when I don't see like that, then enough. So it doesn't make sense really to exist. What kind of people do you want to come for? And the fifth one is what are your strengths? What do you need to take? As you have that mental imagination, right? Your mental picture, your have that vision. You need to know what strengths you have. It's just like me now. I see myself, when I tell myself, oh, what's my mission? I say, I see myself singing from country to country, praising the Lord. Professionally. Not that already. Because I know that my strength is not in singing. I sing of key. I love to worship, I love to sing, but I go of key. And I wake up that summer because it's me and my father. I don't have the song to me. So for me to know that it's my vision to be a professional artist. You know that I'm not serious. That's not my strength. It's not my strength at all. The sixth one is when you need support. Not that already, because I know that my strength is not in singing. I sing of key. I love to worship, I love to sing, but I go of key and I wake up that summer because it's me and my father. I don't have the song to me. So for me to know that it's my vision to be a professional artist. You know that I'm not serious. That's not my strength. It's not my strength at all. The sixth one is when you need support. And so if I find myself in a space where I have to sing, and I know that song is very critical to the atmosphere, I'll say, Ngozi, what is that song again? Take the same note, please sing it for me. That is me calling him for support. Because I know that's not strength. I'm leading in and saying, give that support. So if you're not able to know where you need support, you don't want to be vulnerable. I think you have to be vulnerable to grow. That's why you must be vulnerable to grow. Now, when you're praying from my don't people are having your crooked voice, you're singing it, you are not feeling the spirit, you are not flowing. Because the truth is that there's an atmosphere. Now, when you're praying from my don't people are having your crooked voice, you're singing it, you are not feeling the spirit, you are not flowing. Because the truth is that there's an atmosphere that comes in. Why do you listen to someone who just does la 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 la? This place is recharged. Why? It's just la 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 la. But the reading that comes into you, the evidence, because that person has that gift, that's the person's strength. But it's not my own. So you need to know where you need support. Because you need to be power. I said, when I was defining power with my doctor, I said, power woman is not the woman that can do it all. A power woman is the woman that is willing to be vulnerable enough to say, I need support. Please give me support. And then you're willing to accept that support when it comes. You know, it's one thing to give support, you to give up. It's another thing for you to be the receiver of that support. Because you feel that it makes you weak. It makes no. God created us to be interdependent. God created us to be interdependent, meaning that I cannot have it all. There is something Chidima will have that will fit into what I need, and I need to be willing enough to ask and then to receive. Am I talking to someone? Very, very important. Number 7 is the question. Remember, we're talking about questions to clarify your vision. Number 7 is, what will you commit to accomplish? What are you saying? You see this 2024. 1, 2, 3 are what I am committing to accomplish. Listen, if you have a long list, my dear, the tendency for you to achieve 2% of that list is nil. The longer the list of priorities, the more the chances that you are not going to do anything on that list. Because you'll be stretching and dragging yourself at different levels. Prioritize. What is so important to you? What do you want to say by the end of 2024? When I look back, if I have done 1, 2, 3 back, if I have done 1, 2, 3, or 4, I will pat myself and say, Joy, you've done so well. I want to talking to someone. So at every point in time, put milestone. Because I like to set goals, meanwhile, for 10 years. I find it very helpful. So I set my goals for 10 years. When you have a vision of you, I have plans as to who my future self is. I set my goals in blocks of 10 years. And then I walk backwards to start giving myself. I do 5 years, 2 years, then a year. Because if it has to be, your vision is very broad, right? It's so big. And so I get a lot of moving parts and elements that will take me there. If I'm only doing it for 1 year, the tendency that I'll be short-sighted. Because I'll just be working just for this 2024. I'm just looking at joy in 2024. But I need to see joy beyond 2024. Who is joy in 2025? Who will she be in 2026? Who will she look like in 2027? What will she look like in 2028? So by the time you start doing that, I set from 2020 to 2030. And so each year, like next year is my mid-year to look, okay, what I said in 2020, what have I done in the last 5 years? So you have long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. It keeps you grounded. My guy, it makes you laser focused. You will know the things you say. You see this one, nah. No matter how exciting it is, no matter how tempting it is, but this one is not for me. At least for the next 10 years, I don't see myself in this. Am I talking to someone? Yes. So asking this question gives you that deep clarity where you want to go to. You can now set very specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound milestones. Then the 8th question, the final question you need to ask yourself is for you to clarify this vision. Am I clear on this vision? Start from your question number 1 we started. Go back to your rocking chair exercise. Put all of them together. Then you ask yourself, do I now have an imagined future? Because if you're seated here and you don't have an imagined future, you'll just be doing anything anyhow. Opportunities will come, there are opportunities, but they may not be for you. There are some good opportunities that you may say, you know what, this is good, but it's not for this season. I have what I call the parking lots outside between the parking lots for that. It's not for them. It's in the parking lots. That I need to have done 1, 2, 3 before I can do it. And that's what clarity does. If you're clear, the sky is your limit. As you have clarified all of this, you ask yourself other questions like, what has changed? What has changed for you? How have you been transformed? The people you've been called to serve, how have they changed? You know, all of us, we are here for a reason or a purpose, right? Now we've been called to serve some people. Whether you are a broadcaster or air personality, or you are a driver, or you are a caterer, or you are whatever it is, you are a janitor. God has called you to a place of service. That is your ministry. There are certain people that God has called you to serve. And if you don't see yourself and that this is my place of service, it is difficult. What I also know that my own place of service was to empower women and men, especially women, and inspire them to find that greatness within them. It changed my conception about myself. It made me more intentional. It makes you know what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You should tell me, I tell you, no, this one is not for me. I tell you, no, this one is not for me. That's what I cannot do this one. I'm not being called to serve this. And those ones will come to serve, they will connect with you. And you connect with them. And you know that you will come to serve them. Even if you're making clothes, there are certain people you will come to serve because they have a certain kind of trend. There's some people that cannot make my clothes because they will make clothes and cut it open and I don't wear this kind of clothes. I don't know what I'm supposed to go. I'll start fighting with the clothes myself. Do you understand what I mean? There's some people that just look at you, understand your style. And the lady that gifted me last week, all the clothes she made for me were my style. The kind of clothes I will wear. I did it because she studied me and she knows. So if you set to serve people, you will be more intentional about this yourselves. You look at what makes them happy. How can you help support them better? How can you do that? There's a number of things you will do. I'm not saying come and serve people free of charge. Am I talking to someone here? Yes. You get paid in your place of service. I know Nigerians want to get everything free of charge. They will not start to send you messaging box. Why can't you do it free? You said it's a place of service. No. Place of service doesn't mean that you have to be free of charge. After the people come and work for you and say, I want to work for you free. From January to December, don't pay anything. I come every day. How will the person pay their bills? So you need to be realistic as well. There are certain things you give out, like what we're doing here today. If I wanted to place a charge on it, there will be a lot of restrictions. But it's my own place of service. And I like to start the year from a place of service. That's my own way of starting my year. Every year I like to start from a place of service. I will start off with my children's program first of all in my village, and then I will do this clarity session. It makes me happy and set me to do what I want to do. So find out your own place of have you been called to do. Sometimes God give you multiple areas of service based on the capacity you have. But you need to know, because if you don't know who you've been called to serve, you will think you're meant for everybody. And when you're meant for everybody, you're meant for nobody. You cannot serve everybody. And that's why when you're in a business, you can carve your niche. Because you know your super focus, this and those are being called to serve. It's not even everybody that wants to wear ready-made clothes and you'll be called to serve. There's certain kinds of people who wear ready-made clothes and you cannot serve. You need to know that and have peace. And you get so clear, crystal clear, of who have I been called to serve. So when you're serving from a place of joy, from a place of clarity, and you will see the transformation you're bringing forth. Even when they are paying for it, you will see the transformation happen. Because at the end of the day, when you're serving people, you want to serve them to a place of growth. Hello? Are we hearing this? Yes. You're not serving people to spoon feed them. Now, we call it service. Doesn't mean that you want to be spoon feeding them all the time. You want to serve them to a place of growth, to be all that God has called them to be. That is where transformation and change happens. There are some people, they like to speak, they have it all here, but they don't know how to explain their words. And they go to meet a public coach, like public speaking coach, and they say, please help me. That's the place of service. And by the time you walk with the person, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, wow, what has happened? You've held the person's hand, help the person accountable to unleash what is inside of the person. You're not meant to be speaking for the person, no. Let us know when we are called to serve and when you're feeding people. When you feed people, they will not do. They will remain stagnant and you are not doing them any good. You want people to grow, serve them to a place of growth. Support them to a place of growth. That's what God has called you to do. So you can answer the question, what has changed in the life of these people? Those who be called to serve, what has changed? I can say, oh, since Chidinma started making my clothes, I feel more confident. I wear clothes that reflect my style. Right? And then because you wear clothes that reflect your style, you have that confidence that you can do more. Don't minimize the place of confidence in achieving goals. Am I talking to someone? Very important. Now, so when you're able to answer all of these questions, then you will now know that you can have a crystal clear vision for your 2024 and beyond. Because at the end of the day, what we want is to have a roadmap for not just our 2024, but also 2024 and beyond. Because when you have clarity of vision, what happens is that you can now come up with strategy. You cannot come up with strategy if you're not clear with your vision. So clarity of vision is the first step. Then you go back. How do I translate this vision into actionable process, strategy? You start thinking about how can I reach out to those people I've been called to serve? How do they know I'm here? How can I make myself visible, right? How can I even measure when I'm growing? You start looking at all the strategies you need to put in place. Do you need to go online? Do you need to have a hybrid system? Do you need to relocate? You start that strategy begins to become evident. Strategy is just you actually communicating your vision into actions. That's simply what it is. How do I make my vision actionable? Strategy. Now, as we wrap up the session today, I'll ask you to think about what you've learned from today's session. Beyond now, like I said at the beginning, I will ask you to take notes as it resonates with you. Do not write what I'm saying, but write what strikes you, what teaches you, what is coming out for you. When you write it down, when you get back to read your notes tomorrow, next month, and you find out that you need to feel notes. So I'm saying here, you'll start to reflect about what has just happened. I'll ask you to just get comfortable in your chair. not write. Stop writing. All what we have said today, whether you came late or came early, still something happened to you. Just close your eyes and just feel that there's nobody else around you. Just sit down, close your eyes and say there's nobody else in this space. I want you to ask yourself that question. What has shifted for me today? I've spent some things, there's not even travel out of states to come. If God did not purpose for you today, you will not be here. Ask me what has shifted for me today. What are some of the clear things I have gotten from today's session? Where am I right now? Do I think I'm in alignment or out of alignment with my vision? What no longer serves me in this 2024? What do I need to drop in this 2024? It is no longer serving me. It doesn't serve that vision I see of myself. By the end of December, by the end of 2025, in 40 years' time, it doesn't serve me anymore. It could be people, it could be relationships, people, it could be your work, it could be a whole lot of things, habits, attitude, mindset. It's no longer serving me. What opportunities can I see as a result of the new things I am thinking about, the new things I am going to do? What opportunity can I see that will shift me towards my vision? And then finally you ask yourself, where do I need to start taking action from? One thing, first of all, live in there. So what is the first thing you need to take action for? And I want you, as you find that one thing you need to take action for, this is the time to just lift it up before God and say, Father, I know today is not a list. You brought me here for a reason. I have looked into the future, for you say that you know the plans you have concerning me. They are good and not of evil, but to bring me to an expected end. And I can see some of that end, even though not on the picture. This is the one action I'm committed to take as a result of what you've laid in my hands today. I want to walk on this action next start. Give me the grace. Bring upon me what I need to get up, but I place all I need in my hands. Give me seeing eyes. Give me seeing eyes. So I can recognize opportunities and become my needs in 2024. You created me for growth. Job 22 verse 28. And you said to me, Lord, and cause your light to shine upon it. So that even this 2025, your way, then I say that there is a casting down. I would like to be fun. Because like us, wherever we get clarity, but keep providing that clarity. We take that time to come online to come in person. But let this not be a miss. There are work that needs to be done. Please help us with that work. Help us to stay committed. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for coming. We have open up for interactive session. Okay. If you have questions, if you have questions, if you have comments, we have 18 more minutes. I would like to have time to be sure that we go with just 6 o'clock. The slides that we have, I said, nobody has slides. I'm going to send out the slides to those who participated online and again. We send it to them as well. So you can have the slides. And then you can have the recorded version of what we did here. Verse 6.
There is secondly, I'm still about to pray of writing the plan.
Okay, so how you get clarification because you dealt with all of that. So I want to go back into that. You have the slide and then you have the slides and then the recordings to watch together. Then in terms of how you write goals and plans, goals are different from plans. Now, your goal is what's the outcome, what you want to achieve, right? Now, it depends on the goal. Sometimes you have bigger goals and you have some goals. But one thing about goals that the goal must be smart, meaning that it must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be relevant to that vision that you have, and it must have a time frame. So you will frame your goals to be in alignment with your vision. So you start from your vision first. Your vision is your first step. Which is more specific than your vision, right? You need to be able to measure that. When you now have your goals, the next thing, before you jump into your plan, because your plan can also be your strategy, you can ask yourself, okay, these goals are now. How can I actualize them? The how is the plan. You now need to unpack them, and that's why you need to have a deep understanding. You now need to unpack them. When you understand the end result, you start working backwards. For instance, if I tell myself I want to go for a doctoral degree this year, well, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a PhD holder in maybe 5 years. That's my end result. What it means that I need to have the qualification to even enroll in the program, right? I'll ask the question, no, why is it? The second, I have the time resources to read and participate in the program. No, what do I need to do? Create time for me to happen. Do I have the financial resources to pay for the school? No. How can I start saving to get the money, right? Now, I'll ask myself again, do I have schools that I want to attend? Do I even know the schools offering the program at all? So, when you understand the end, you start working backwards. And then that's how giving yourself time frame. So if I don't have qualification and I wake up and say I want to be a PhD holder by next year, my dear, it's only a kangaroo PhD holder you will be. It's not an academic PhD holder because we know what to say at least minimum for you. The end and then you walk backwards. So you're just simply asking yourself, what do I need to do? To achieve this, what do I need to do? You ask yourself, what resources do I have in place to achieve those things? Right? Then if you don't have, because sometimes you want to do this, you don't have the money. What can I do in the interim? There are interim plans. It doesn't mean you have to start begging people up, I want to go to school. What can you do? What has God placed in your hands? To say, okay, let me do this for the time being. If I can get this amount of money, I can do this, I can do that. If you want on a very, you say you want to build your own office, you don't just come up from nowhere and start building office. You have to start from somewhere. Let me rent, if I'm staying in the house, okay, let me get my business to this level, I can go and rent. You now rent the space. When I do certain level of business, I can start saving amount of money. I can buy a land or start of money to buy the land. So everything is step by step, layered. It's in that bit I say, don't put yourself under pressure. Don't put yourself under pressure, you don't set time frames. But it's been realistic enough, goals are realistic and they are achievable. So you cannot start from ground zero and want to jump to 100. 50,000 or 60,000. And then you tell yourself, okay, don't worry. By next year, I'll buy a plot of land for 25 billion. My sister, how will it happen? There has to be a clear pathway to achieving your goal. That's what. Are we getting it?
Yes.
Very, very important. Does that answer your question? That's a different answer altogether. Any other question or comment?
Question. My own is that for me, I know I'm called to serve children. It has been clear to me that I'm called to. When it comes to reaching that, is that I see I'm having problem there. Because I was told to do character and leadership development program for children. So I was confused. I don't really know how to go about it. When I saw your post concerning this speech, I said I tried to hold on first because I've started writing down some things like model 1, model 2, model 3. What I'll be put together to run with the character and leadership. So now, I think I need a part to reach down so that even though as for children, this is exactly what I want to know for that I'm serving children.
Before you get that, go to what's the end result. So when you start with children, character and development, who do they become?
They become the best version of themselves.
What is the best version? Let's get very specific. You know, we'll keep saying best version. What is that best version? Who will be? You have to describe it. So when I say I become the best version of myself, I can describe the best version. I describe what that best version of the children look like. You have to ask yourself, which children are you now looking at? Because children is a large range. It cannot be all kinds of children. What children? Indigent children, children before I say go fetch more of the teenage children, is it children in urban, rural? So you have to go down to becoming very clear, crystal clear about your target audience who you be called to serve. So when you get so clear about what's going to serve, what them do, everything will start falling into place gradually. But because it's so much, it's so broad, you're even strong, you'll be struggling in niching it. Because how do you niche it? You can't niche rural urban at the same time. The needs are different. Even the developmental needs, the character needs are so different. The character development needs for indigents and the people who are out it's so different. So before you get into that, be very clear as to who you're going to serve, who they become as a result of when you start them. That best version of marketing. Because sometimes we hide behind concepts and we don't do ourselves to practice. So when you used to say best version of myself, what is the best version of yourself? Go back to that exercise. When you go back to that exercise, what have you achieved? Who have you served? What have been asked of questions? What have they become as a result of you serving them? What transformation took place? You must have put all of it together and not be hard on yourself. It's not a one-day thing. In niching, sometimes you go in broad and you start finding where you're connected to emotionally. So you're doing this and this is not it. You go back again and say, okay, what is it? So in niching, you don't wake up and find, yes, some people just wake up and find their niche, a small percentage. But in niching, most times you try and find out where your heart leads to, where you're most creative, where you feel, because when you're in your niche area, where God has called you to be creative, it just flows like this. just flows like this. I said,
It's not a question. When I moved into my meetings, they said, I don't want to have to sew like I was in the village. I have to sew simple things. And it is something I've been struggling with. Because like I said, I know my pulse is self. Even all these sales that are attended, people will come and they will wear the dress and they will wear down and tell you that they are home on. So it's like you are telling me that I've been struggling to understand. Because my first thing was skimpy. I don't have that buying crowd of skimpy. Last time we went to the one of us said, so say what about me and they tell me I don't reach it. And I asked like I told them that and I just said, because you are not ready. So now I have understood that I need to I don't know that will always call me simplicity because when I sew, I don't use too much flashy things. I think those are the people that I am called to serve. Even though now I'm pushing myself to look at the other trendy things that are coming up. Most likely, because in 5 years' time, I'm looking at having a fashion school. So I understand I also need to know these things so that I can teach people that will probably decide to reach down towards that. So just thank you for that.
I just add that this doesn't make you're not ready. Like I'm not simple. If I only wear busy clothes for photo shoots, but not actually wear anything. So I like things that are very simple because for me, fashion is comfort first before any other thing. So being simple can also be very trendy. So when you need help on those people who want to study them, and sometimes you have to ask them. So when you know, because you cannot keep assuming, business is all about. So you need to look at them the different that you're maybe intend to sell those different brackets. You categorize and start asking them, how much you like to come to me? Well, no, so that you're not going from assumption. You're not telling exactly what you want and give them what you want. If you is so terrible, don't allow not see that plenty. Anybody who can serve them because to serve. I stand back and solve them.
My is more a decision I share what I'm thinking with one word that came from the many websites, teamwork and vulnerability. The Philippines strong. I find the work, but the emphasis is on keep doing it. And vulnerability is something I struggle with. I just want to have everything all figured out by myself. Then at times, like you said, you should be willing to ask for support and be willing to receive. Sometimes I don't know what, so this is coming up strong for me. I think nobody I need to be people like me that I know what I want. One way to also listen to other people like me that I know what I want. One way to also listen to other people, see their support. I really receive their support, not find their feelings already, because I feel like I must figure it out. So I'm picking those 4 words the way teamwork, vulnerability, giving and receiving support.
Beautiful. Any other questions, comments? Okay, you and tell us. Oh, I don't know your name. Angela, then Angela. Go first.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Mine is just a question. It's more like an appreciation and getting clarity. Because
just like she said, knowing the people you're called to serve. I'm a teens coach and I work with organizations like the faith-based thing. Something that happened in December, I don't we had 18 standards, because at the end of each of our programs, we pray with the teenagers, and most of the times we get close to them, the whole parents is here and pray with them. So somebody came and said, like, we wanted to send teenagers to me, but we just discovered that we are being religious. So I'll try to explain to you, I said, whatever we do in this organization is centered alone. And like it's going to withdraw those that is not what we want. That in the society was in China, America, that teenagers are doing exploits. So I was trying to explain to you that we have mission to the Palestinian, socially and otherwise. But after that, so that's one of the challenges we have once in a while. Because we never try what's hard that I get first. So, but with this teaching today, I know where I am called to serve. So I'm looking at, because most of the times I'm like, okay, for them not to get angry, I don't go to schools. So see, because they don't need all of those prayers, all of that. So sometimes we have to step down a little. But with this, I think we have to go to people who need what.
Thanks for that. And just to share mine as well, I also struggled with that. You're not alone. And when I started coaching, I struggled, first of all, especially with the society space. Now, I remember when I became elected to be the first international president, it came up. And so they had a back-end conversation. Someone called me to say, they're always talking Jesus God. And I mean, like, the organization is multinational. We have people who do not believe in your God and your Jesus and all that. So I now said, okay, have I forced anyone to go my Jesus way? No. That since you have the option of going your non-God way, I have the right to that as well. I'm very bad. So I know the virtue of that offering, because now there are some spaces you have control. Like, this is my space. When I put out, I'll say it's a kingdom focused program, more like you, right? Now, if the virtue of your post in your career, you get to a space where it's not your control, this is flexibility. So you be flexible that you bring, because God approach really is not just for Christians. I choose to do prayer begin and end because this is my space. Now, if I'm in another space, like it's not a very Christian space. You will not stop what that happened. I said in the Bible, we have the soul of Steve Davidson. That's not what I want to say, but that's my own angle, right? So you do it in such a way, because my vision is clear. Everybody is right vision. So it depends on how you put it in. But when you go to socials, you might need to step down the more intimate ones. So those intimate ones of holding hands, doing the prayers, you can pray without going into all of that. So you can still say the prayer and release the word. You want it to happen. So you mustn't do the giving together for the Holy Spirit to act. First release the word, and the Holy Spirit to go ahead and the conviction, right? So just know how to balance that. But the class starts from that this is what because it's a critical and that space to come. But when you're supposed to say, why not the Christian approach, or why not to do that? Because I don't want to offend people. That no was the kingdom was that's it. But we're balanced and we're flexible. Creativity will come and ask why you have this space. Miracle, right?
First of all, I want to thank for this opportunity and the privilege to be here. Let me start with the relation of what you just said. I started last year, I had this article in the following day. And during the interview, one of the men that were interviewing is at that country. He now asked me something, he said, your musician is faith-based. that don't I think that the religion aspect of it is going to limit me from getting points and whatever. I answered him, he said that I should believe that the religion aspect of it is going to limit me from getting points and whatever. I answered him, he said that I should he was so persistent that we should remove that spirituality aspect of religion. I don't know how I'm honest, but I just don't. I don't told myself, if God cannot do us, he don't do it. That whatever God will give, you need that God will always provide for it. So he said, okay. But at the end of that, what I have to ask in relation to what you just said, sometimes I've come to learn over time that you grow with your goal. It's not something that is something you grow into. And I've realized it's one thing that scares me when you see that to visit your mom, your weekends, start taking over, and he gets me scared when I think I see this whole is way bigger than me, like start taking over, and he gets me scared when I think I see this whole is way bigger than me, like how are you going to act when we're coming to education? There are so many things that I think you need to put in place. Like recently, I used to go to there's a school I visited one time in Brazil. So they called us that they needed us to come and we didn't have the funding, the resources to fund our road that way. So they were not feeling like we didn't want to come again because maybe we did there because it was really complicated. I'm not asking at this point when sometimes your goal seems scary and you begin to give you a double mind. Should I really continue? Am I really fit for this? And what do you do to be able to deal with such a mindset? So
one the time when you ask yourself, am I worthy of this? Do I have the capacity to do this? It's part of the growth process. Now, that's why I like the AI approach. So when you're going, always keep the smart goal in perspective, achievable, realistic, right? Now, there are aspects that you grow into with time when you have the right system. You can grow as big as the system you put in place, not in the goals. You won't be able to achieve the goals if you don't have a system to support the goals for you to have a goal. So first thing is to look at the system of goals, not just a system of goals. Because that system of goals is really what you want to look at. How do you get your funding? How to sustain your funding? Do you make capacities that go up? How do you relate with them? So in that stage, how do you get your funding? How to sustain your funding? Do you make capacities that go up? How do you relate with them? So in that stage, I told them from the one, all what we do, we are all donor based. We can do as much as the funding we have. Sometimes we don't have that funding, even though we want, because that's where that pressure thing comes in. When you layer. So layer your goals and just know that God has placed it in your heart. You will give you the but you need to exhaust resources that means you are able before you trust them. So when you find yourself struggling, ask yourself, I get the resources at this level I'm not exhausted. That's why usually when I say, okay, step back. What do I have at this level I'm not exhausted? When you stand claiming that there's certain things, but you can pay because you think it's small, right? So something that the resources beyond money that you have at that level that you may not have exhausted. And the truth is, when you're exhausted, automatically you go. That's how God makes it. Whether you look at just yourself, you will so that intentionally it goes into the system, but what brings it into the growth process? So that you have at that level that you may not have exhausted. And the truth is, when you're exhausted, automatically you go. That's how God makes it. Whether you look at just yourself, you will so that intentionally it goes into the system, but what brings it into the growth process? So once you have the system, you find yourself moving. But by the time you look back, wow, I don't know if there's a condition where it's still strong. You don't have access to anything. But once God will go to a certain level, it will just take one person to say one person, okay, let's give this 100,000. That's why I say God gives seeing eyes. You don't have that looking for 2 million adverts. Oh, it's 100,000 people. But you don't know, you take it. If you can just do 2-3 persons, do that. And allow God to do the best. If you seek Him, He will keep calling. But don't be in your hurry and sometimes we just set mighty goal that we not run into. So let it be a vision. What you imagine for the future, then you start. And allow God to do the best. If you seek Him, He will keep calling. But don't be in your hurry and sometimes we just set mighty goal that we not run into. So let it be a vision. What you imagine for the future, then you set your goals. Remember that vision is the goals are very realistic. Can I achieve this? Based on the time, resources that I have, is it feasible?
The timing of this meeting is very this just started. And organizational level and university notes is a very strategic research industry system. As if they have been, what I know is to have different journals on me, one for myself, one for each of the teams, organizations and everything. And listen to them and say, don't write. And what is this said? When God comes to you to work with you. And I know that this is a strategic research industry system. As if they have been, what I know is to have different journals on me, one for myself, one for each of the teams, organizations and everything. And listen to them and say, don't write. And what is this said? When God comes to you to work with you. And I know that this is I know that I was inside us. It is to be able to know it. So thank you so much. What is to learn and one way, I'm sure if a lot of people that have to watch, because it's so many of them that my peers said that what you to change, and then they said the truth. That people around you might not have the courage to say to you. And once you learn that truth and you decide to work with, it makes a lot of difference and that's what you go. Because there are a lot of things that are to so much.
Thank you so much.
There are people around you might not have the courage to say to you. And once you learn that truth and you decide to work with, it makes a lot of difference and that's what you go. Because there are a lot of things that are to so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. And like Barrister said, please let's apply the knowledge. If you don't apply it, you forget it. Just keep applying it. This the exercise is one you can just keep doing. When you think you are good, do that your let's share exercise again. And just keep asking yourself these questions to gain more compelling clarity. God keep us and keep all us. Thank you so much. For those online, thank you so much for staying in. God bless and keep everyone. And we have just this refreshments. This is the beginning of the year. And we're letting like refreshments for everyone. I know, but I thought of something. People will be coming in from office because of the times. I don't say let's invite something, please. God bless and keep you all. God keep us and keep all us. Thank you so much. For those online, thank you so much for